Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Today's episode promises nothing but thrills that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Sit back, relax, and let's wow your world. Instead of starting today's episode with a big one, we start with two, literally. This footage was taken in Snyder Central, New York during turkey season. The individual recording had gone out hoping to capture some turkeys. Instead, what they captured is what you see on your screen. What do you make of those creatures? What comes to mind when you think of them? It's definitely rolled off your tongue already. Yes, Bigfoot. I don't know any other creatures on this planet that might fit the bill or description. The gait is very human-like and not so much like the previous Bigfoot clips we have reviewed on this channel. Could this be a different species of Bigfoot? I don't know, but taking a second look, their movements are more fluid and they appear to be more advanced than any of the other Bigfoots we have reviewed on this channel. There are two possible realities here. Those are humans in a suit, or this is a more intelligent and more advanced species of Bigfoot. What do you think? Did you grow up with scary campfire stories? Well, this next capture was brought to us by a man who lived through one. This image was taken by a man who was exploring a secluded woodland area. Yes, the only description we have is secluded because he refused to disclose the specific area. Nonetheless, according to him, he was enjoying the scenes and the chirping of the birds and all the sounds typically associated with the wild when it all went silent. He wondered what could have caused the silence, but after a few minutes of hearing nothing, he tried to make his way to a lake near the woodland area and was met with a sight that stopped him in his tracks. Yes, that. He's no idea what that is, but according to him, it carried an ominous presence that was simply too hard to ignore. He has no idea why, but he started to sweat profusely and feel intense fear. It didn't stop till the creature was out of sight. Luckily for him, he was already hiding in the bushes when this started. Otherwise, he would have been left paralyzed in the open and been at the mercy of the creature. What do you think of this? Heard of or experienced anything such? Let's get talking in the comment section. In a quiet corner of northern Minneapolis, a new homeowner recently moved in and decided to install a motion-detecting trail camera on their property because, well, why not? This area had remained largely untouched for some time and was secluded away from the usual urban bustle. The first two photos captured by the camera showed nothing remarkable, just the serene, natural beauty of the surroundings. The third photo was, however, different. In this image, a young girl with an ethereal appearance was visible. She appeared to be dressed in white and had blonde hair that was cut in a unique style. Naturally, the homeowners were surprised and a bit disturbed by this strange image. Before jumping to any unrealistic conclusions, they assumed that it could be their neighbor's child. Nevertheless, the eerie quality of the photo left them with a lingering sense of mystery, which prompted them to investigate. The result of their investigation was simple. That was not the neighbor's daughter. Who then was that young lady? Was she human at all? Why is she or it hanging around their property? These were questions they wanted the answers to. Being unable to find the answers themselves, they turned to the online community, which is you and I. What do you see when you look at the capture? A ghost or a badly taken photo of a young girl? Share your thoughts in the comment section. There be a simple explanation, or does this photo hint at something more paranormal, like a wandering spirit? A group of fishermen embarked on a routine fishing trip hoping to make a big catch. However, when they eventually hauled their nets back on board, they were met with an utterly perplexing sight. To their astonishment, what they initially believed was a substantial catch turned out to be something far stranger. An anomalous, human-like arm with webbed fingers emerged from their net. The rest of the creature to which this peculiar arm belonged remained concealed, but it's safe to say fish don't look like that. Whatever creature that was, it remained struggling within the net, seemingly attempting to free itself. Intriguing as it may be, the first thought that crossed many minds upon seeing this footage was the age-old fascination with mermaids. Could this be a genuine capture of a mermaid on camera, or is this something entirely different? Share your thoughts with us. This eerie footage was captured by an individual exploring an abandoned building, and it certainly raises a few questions. In the video, as the camera pans through the building, it comes to an open space where something rather strange appears. At a glance, it appears ordinary, but a second look and you'd realize that there's something more at play. Slowing down the footage, we see it. It looks like a pale face framed by dark, disheveled hair. But before we jump to supernatural conclusions, there's an interesting concept to consider: pareidolia. Pareidolia is a fascinating quirk of human perception where our brains tend to make sense of random shapes by interpreting them as something more familiar, often faces. It's the phenomenon that makes us see faces in clouds or on a piece of toast. So could this ghostly visage just be an example of pareidolia at play? Is it a trick of the eye, or could it truly be something more mysterious lurking in the abandoned building? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. This intriguing, albeit hazy photo was captured in the woods, and it raises some questions. At first glance, you might mistake the figure for a bear, but upon closer examination, it's evident that this creature doesn't walk on all fours. It appears to be moving upright, which brings to mind one of the most famous cryptids, Bigfoot. But take a look at its tail. It gives me more reptilian vibes than it does Bigfoot. I mean, but perhaps that's me. What do you guys see? Speaking of Bigfoot, this footage was taken on the National Park Reserve in Gulf Island. This huge creature was spotted behind a tree in a secluded part of the woods. The figure does appear quite large and possesses dark fur, which are characteristics often associated with Bigfoot sightings. The creature also seemed to be preoccupied with something, perhaps a meal or some object of interest. Taking a look at its back and fur, you don't need to be told that it fits the many descriptions of Bigfoot. However, as with many cryptid sightings, the footage lacks the clarity needed to definitely confirm its identity. It could potentially be a misidentified animal or even a hoax. What's your take? In this footage, a man was enjoying a leisurely bike ride through the waters of Virginia's woodlands. His carefree exploration took an unexpected turn when he noticed something unusual. Up ahead in the water, a peculiar figure was moving. The figure in question appeared to be covered in brown fur and was walking on two legs, a sight that doesn't typically align with known wildlife in the area. This unexpected encounter prompted the man to halt his bike and point towards the enigmatic creature. While the footage is blurred, many who saw this were quick to label this cryptid being as the legendary Sasquatch. Given the poor quality of the footage, it's hard to confirm or disprove. In the depths of the woods, a trail camera captured an intriguing phenomena that has been buzzing across the internet in recent times. In the footage, two raccoons are perched on a tree looking into the distance. It's unclear what they're looking at, but a few seconds into the footage, a peculiar orb drifts out from the dark woods, passing by them and then the camera. Could this be what they were focusing on? Well, some who saw the original post believe so. These light orbs have been gaining attention lately, yet their origin remains a hot topic of discussion. Theories about them being connected to aliens, paranormal entities, or simply tricks of light abound, yet we're still waiting for a definitive explanation for these orbs. Until we have more definitive explanations, we stick to the paranormal ones which state they could be an indication of spiritual activity. What do you think? In this next footage, we encounter something disturbing captured on security cameras along a parkway. In the video, you can observe an empty street late at night with cars moving back and forth, a fairly typical scene. However, let me direct your attention to something unusual. On the left side of the road near the curve, you'll notice a strange entity. This apparition becomes visible when the headlights of passing cars shine upon it. The entity resembles a human figure. This raises questions about the idea of spirits lingering at the locations of their demise. Could this be the case? Is the figure on the road the ghost of a person who could not move on? Many in the paranormal community seem to think so, but what if it's rather an indication of something much more sinister? Well, I guess we'd never know. Before you move on to the next clip, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment in the comments section. It goes a long way to help us produce more videos for you. Thank you very much for doing so. It means a lot. Moving back to the day's episode. In our next footage, we have a group of children standing in front of a camera, engaged in their conversation and oblivious to the unfolding mystery behind them. Unbeknownst to these children, lurking in the bushes just behind them, a peculiar figure comes into view. This entity has a pallid complexion, a disproportionately large head, and a protruding belly. Oddly enough, it seems to have its back pressed against a tree. Its striking resemblance to our accepted norms of an extraterrestrial figure is rather unsettling. Initially unnoticed, the creature remains undiscovered until one of the children eventually turns and spots it. But here's the kicker. The rest of the children are indifferent about it. This can only mean three things. First, they didn't see the creature. Secondly, it's something they're used to seeing. And third, the footage is edited. Which of these is your best bet? Share with us in the comments section. Out in the woods, an individual had a chilling encounter with a mysterious creature that left them so frightened they struggled to capture a clear image. Nevertheless, let's take a closer look at the footage. The recording reveals massive feet, considerably larger than those of an average human, yet oddly reminiscent of the big guy. Yes, Bigfoot. As the creature moves behind the concealing veil of bushes, you can catch a glimpse of dark fur. Upon closer examination of this footage, opinions diverge widely. Some believe it to be the elusive Bigfoot, while others contend it might be a bear. A third perspective suggests this could be a well-orchestrated hoax. What do you think? In this next video, captured by a motorcyclist in New York, we're presented with another potential Bigfoot sighting. The rider, with one hand steering his bike and the other holding a camera, records his journey. Along the road, there's a stretch of dense bushes where, concealed within the shadows, lurks a mysterious dark figure with a pair of luminous eyes. Despite the limited visibility due to the darkness, it's still possible to discern some features that bear resemblance to a Bigfoot-like creature. The details are far from crystal clear, leaving room for speculation. He believes he saw a Bigfoot, and we can't confirm or disprove it because of the quality of the image. So would you take his word for it and believe there's a Bigfoot moving in the background, or would you call it a hoax and pay no attention to it? Tell us in the comments section. In this next trail camera footage, we find ourselves deep within the confines of a desolate, shadowy forest. The scenery is devoid of typical animal activity, yet it's far from empty. The footage captures the presence of unique and mysterious guests meandering around the area. Multiple ethereal entities are discernible in the video, their forms resembling that of humans. What sets them apart, however, is their apparent lack of legs, giving them an eerie, spectral quality. The question that arises is whether these figures are indeed spirits or some other form of paranormal entities. What say you? Now, we have shown you some exotic creatures on this channel, but I doubt any can compare to what I'm about to show you now. What do you think this orange creature is? When the footage was originally posted, a number of Trailcam enthusiasts believed we were dealing with some extraterrestrial, or simply put, an alien. It reminded them of John Carter's companion from his books and movies, only this creature doesn't seem to have the speed of light. There were some who were more grounded in reality and believed it might be a salamander. I can see where they're coming from, but is it though? We doubt that. We're tempted to lean toward the extraterrestrial and otherworldly explanation, but that could just be because we are paranormal enthusiasts. What do you reckon is happening here? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd love to read them. This next clip reveals an astonishing encounter with a colossal moose. This enormous creature stands as a behemoth, dwarfing its ordinary moose counterparts, its antlers stretched to an astounding 7-foot wingspan, resembling the branches of a tree. In this rare encounter, 2 individuals had a close call with this monster moose. However, it's clear that the moose's immense size and presence didn't sit well with the men, leading to a tense standoff. One man, filled with trepidation, resorted to use a wooden stick in an attempt to deter the creature. But this risky move could have spelled disaster, for the colossal moose was no ordinary animal, and cornering it only invited danger. Either way, have you seen any of these creatures with your very own eyes? Care to share your encounter? This mystifying video captures what appears to be a supernatural encounter with a creature resembling both a human and a dog at the same time. The entity's calm demeanor in the face of being filmed adds to the intrigue as it gazes directly into the camera. Debates rage on whether this sighting represents a genuine and paranormal encounter with the dogman or if it's just a person wearing a costume. The blurry nature of the video only deepens the mystery, leaving viewers with more questions than answers. What do you think, though? What are we dealing with here? In the next video, we delve into a highly contentious debate surrounding a creature known as the Yeti, often referred to as the Bigfoot of the Himalayas. The footage offers a brief glimpse of a towering, white and shaggy figure estimated to be around 7 to 8 feet in height, taking a stroll. Unfortunately, due to the distance and camera angle, the creature's face remains obscured. While many believe this was indeed a Yeti, quite a number of individuals also thought the whole thing had to be a hoax. Some were even bold enough to state that the being in the footage is nothing more than a person dressed in a costume masquerading as the legendary Yeti. A search was conducted in the area to find the creature, but it came to naught. The question remains, was it truly the Yeti, or is it simply a clever ruse? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. We'd love to hear it. In the next clip, which is our penultimate, we witness an unusual scene of two men leisurely burning a stack of newspapers. Their casual demeanor as they enjoy this act soon changes when they realize they're being observed. The person recording the video becomes uneasy and moves the camera in the direction of where they felt the gaze coming from. It's at this moment they stumbled upon an astonishing sight. There at the distance stands a paranormal creature with a human-like physique, quietly watching their actions. This eerie entity maintains its distance but eventually retreats when it becomes aware of being observed. The identity and nature of this mysterious creature are open to interpretation. Could it be a ghostly apparition or something entirely different? We invite you to share your insights and thoughts in the comments section to unravel this intriguing mystery. This footage reveals an unknown vicinity which is adorned with lush green groves of trees as the night sky heads towards nighttime. In the far left corner, there's a retreating figure that appears to have humanoid shape, possibly a predator. Without more specific information or visual details, it's challenging to identify the exact species of the retreating figure. It's essential to remember that nature is full of these predator-prey dynamics, and they're part of the natural balance in ecosystems as a deer comes into view, but doesn't seem to be vigilant to evade potential threats. With the actions of the dark figure, could it have been targeting the deer and on its way to capture it? What are your thoughts? This is one of my most beloved Trailcam captures. Not only is the capture unique and different, but it also features one creature that intrigues me the most among all creatures of the night. As much as I would like to tell you its name, I can't, and you know why. We're at the bonus segment of today's episode. Your task is simple. Name the exact species that beautiful animal is and add a rare fact. If you're able to, your name shall be immortalized among the few names of individuals on this channel who have succeeded in doing so. Start with bonus footage so we easily identify it. The most accurate description with the rarest fact will win a feature in our next video. All the best. Say you decided to take keeping fit seriously, and with that you wake up extra early to fulfill that dream. But upon reaching the gym about to start, you hear creaking sounds. Curious about the sounds, you check it out, but you meet a gym machine moving without anyone on it. What would you do? This footage captures a scene in a quiet neighborhood adjacent to a parking lot where a red car is parked. However, the focus of the video is on a black gym machine that is in inexplicable motion as though a spectral presence is using it for a workout. The machine moves in a manner that suggests a human-like effort to engage in physical exercise. As we all can see, however, there's no one there. Could a ghostly being be responsible for what we are seeing, or is there a more logical explanation for the whole thing? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd really love to hear them. Imagine walking into the woods and seeing this staring at you. What would be the first thing to run through your mind? This Trailcam capture is eerily reminiscent of the previous image taken in the park. Once again, we're confronted with a bizarre creature, but this time its appearance is even more unsettling. This enigmatic being possesses a peculiar skeletal face, and its entire body is shrouded in a thick layer of hair. The creature appears to be standing amid a tangle of bushes, its unblinking gaze fixed directly upon the camera. What can we make of this mysterious entity? What strange force or presence could lead to such an eerie encounter? These questions linger, shrouding this image in an unsettling aura of the unknown. In this Trailcam image from eastern Kentucky, we're confronted with a rather pitiful sight. In the capture, we see a creature with a head reminiscent of a canid resembling a coyote. However, a closer examination reveals a troubling affliction. The creature appears to be suffering from a severe case of mange, a skin disease caused by microscopic mites. Mange is a distressing condition in which these minuscule parasites burrow into the host's skin, leading to the loss of fur and causing immense discomfort and suffering. Seeing a creature in such a state is truly heartbreaking, and it's impossible not to feel sympathy for this unfortunate animal. Unless, of course, you're its prey and you're happy that it won't be alive much longer. That's dark, I know, but the wild is no picnic. It's a hard place. Still on sick-looking animals, this next image also shows an almost similar creature, but this time I think there might be more to it than simply being a sick coyote. In this intriguing image, we're presented with a creature that bears some resemblance to the infamous chupacabra, an enigmatic entity often associated with the mysterious killings of livestock. The creature in question possesses long limbs and a pale complexion, which deviates from the typical appearance of a healthy coyote. While we can't definitely conclude that this is a chupacabra, it's worth noting that chupacabra sightings have been reported in that particular region, and the creature on screen fits the description. At least, that's what the individual who sent it in thinks. What about you? In the era of Trailcam captures, it's customary to expect glimpses of wildlife and the occasional mysterious phenomena. However, there is some footage that transcends the ordinary and ventures into the territory of sheer perplexity. The footage we're about to delve into was a prime example of such an enigma. The scene is familiar. Lush greenery and dense vegetation fill the frame. However, it's the moment within this serene wilderness that captures our attention. From the midst of the trees emerges an unexpected sight, a human figure. But this isn't your typical encounter. The individual in question appears to be a naked man crawling painstakingly across the ground. Naturally, this prompts a series of questions. What could have prompted such behavior? Is there a story behind this bizarre sighting? Unfortunately, the trail camera's owner, like us, was left pondering these mysteries. The fate and motive of this crawling figure remains elusive, leaving us with another chapter in the book of unexplained phenomena. In this unsettling footage, we follow a person on a hunting expedition deep in the heart of the forest. The tranquility of the woods is suddenly shattered by a loud, echoing shriek. Listen. At first, it bears a semblance of a human sound, but there's an eerie, guttural undertone that sends shivers down the spine. It's a noise unlike anything one would expect from typical forest-dwelling creatures like deer, wolves, or bears. The question arises, what kind of creature could possibly produce such a sound? One unsettling theory that emerges is that this might be the work of a skinwalker. These creatures are known for their uncanny ability to make human sounds and draw men in, although in this instance it seems like their attempt has gone horribly wrong, if it is indeed one. One theory I hold on to is perhaps it could be a witch being tortured. Yeah, I know it sounds over the top, but think about it. As you do, what's your take on this mysterious sound? If you've made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do that before we go on? Thank you very much. It means a lot. Moving back to today's episode. The trail cam video you see on your screen captures an eerie and mysterious sight in the middle of the woods. In the early hours of the morning, around 3 a.m., a strange mist or smoke-like substance suddenly appears, seemingly emanating from above and right in front of the camera lens. The timing and appearance of this mist create an uncanny and otherworldly atmosphere. It's not uncommon for trail cams to capture unusual phenomena in the wilderness, often sparking speculation and curiosity. Some might interpret this as the breath or presence of a large creature. I mean, look at it. It looks like the steam that comes out of an individual while breathing in a cold and icy region. Only this time, if it's indeed someone exhaling steam, then you and I can tell that someone would have to be very large. Given the fact that this large being or thing is sitting directly above the camera and looking toward the direction of the grazing deer, we can conclude that whatever it is, it's a predator that's interested in consuming the creature. Some have mentioned Bigfoot, others a werewolf, and some others a dogman. What about you? What do you think could be creating that steam from breathing in and out? Tell us in the comment section. This intriguing footage was captured in Indonesia during broad daylight, offering a glimpse of the vast landscape adorned with tall orange and red-hued buildings. However, the focal point of this video is an enigmatic creature spotted atop a hill. The creature is dark, tall, and seems to lack visible legs, probably due to how far it is. Upon closer inspection, however, this unidentified creature appears to be moving in a manner reminiscent of a snail or a slug, employing a dragging motion. This unusual sight prompts audible reactions from the people in the vicinity. Their voices fill the background with gasps and pleas, likely expressing their concern and curiosity about the nature of this creature. As the creature continues its journey, it gradually disappears into the unknown, leaving viewers with a lingering mystery. What could this furry fellow be, and how did it manage to move without apparent legs? Members of the paranormal community who saw this, however, believe it's a Bigfoot and only lacks discernible legs because of how far it is. What thinkest thou? This footage was captured in a Canadian forest by a hiker. It all looked peaceful and serene at first. This serenity is, however, short-lived when something disturbing appears from nowhere. It's a strange, pale humanoid figure emerging from the underbrush. This creature's movements are eerily reminiscent of a zombie, raising questions about its origin and nature. Could this be a real-life version of The Walking Dead, or is there another explanation for this unsettling encounter? Share your thoughts with us. Next, we have security cam footage that might have just captured a ghostly experience in Indonesia. Take a look. In the footage, we see a motor rider moving in the night when a strange girl suddenly appeared. Paying attention to the footage, we can see that the rider sees her too and tries to stop. But that's just the thing. Right before he's able to stop, the girl disappears. Being the good human he was, he got off the bike because he was concerned, thinking he'd probably hit her, but he found no one there. He's confused, but from our view, we saw the girl appear and disappear in a thin air. As he looks around for her, this girl suddenly reappeared again, causing the poor man to run off for fear of his precious life. This leaves us with a question. Who is that girl? Why did she appear and disappear? Why do it to this man? So many questions. This video was filmed inside the Mira Mesa tunnel, which appears to be adorned with graffiti artwork, giving it a distinct and artistic character. A group of friends decided to venture into this tunnel on the night of May the 9th. While it was supposed to be your everyday fun walk, they ended up capturing and experiencing a bizarre series of intriguing events. First, they started hearing things and tried to find the individual or being responsible for it. After a few minutes, they're unable to find anyone and they continue their adventure. Then the disturbance returns again, but this time on both sides of the tunnel. Naturally, those eerie events created a heightened sense of tension and uncertainty.
Scared of the water to surprise.
Okay, now we heard it from both sides. All right, let's go.
Fearing for their lives, they decided to leave and walk toward the exit. As they reach the end of the tunnel, we see an assortment of items, including a table and various other objects. We are unsure why these are here, but the experience raises intriguing questions. Why go there in the dead of the night? Why go at all? What if there was a strange creature or some venomous snake or something in there? Am I overreacting? Well, maybe I am, but perhaps I should ask you too. Would you venture into such a place in the dead of night? How would you have reacted? Tell us in the comments section, and if you've had such an experience in tunnels, please share as well. The owner of this image believes that he might have captured a ghost of some sort. In the image, which was taken at an abandoned farm, you can see a hazy figure clad in white with its back turned to the camera. This can be as a result of the being moving, but take note of a few details. On the ground, in the snow, there appears to be car tire marks of a vehicle which the uploader states were left hours prior to the photo being taken. Wondering why I'm mentioning that detail? Well, the ground is clearly soft enough for a vehicle which passed by hours ago to be leaving tracks, but tell me why this man or being, or whatever it is, isn't leaving any footprints in the snow. Several possibilities could explain this phenomena. Some paranormal enthusiasts might interpret this as evidence of a ghostly apparition, which typically doesn't leave physical footprints. Others might suggest that this could be a result of atmospheric conditions or even photographic artifacts. Some others try to be logical and even state that perhaps he's not heavy enough, but I disagree. Ultimately, without further context or investigation, it's challenging to definitely conclude. What do you personally think, though? Pray tell us in the comments section. If you still haven't hit that like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do it now? Thank you very much. It means a lot to us and allows us to create more content like this. Moving on to the next clip. A group of friends embark on an adventure in the scenic mountains of Switzerland. Sounds like the beginning of a great trip, right? Well, it was until they stumbled upon something that defies explanation. What they witnessed was an object hovering by the mountainside, and it wasn't your run-of-the-mill balloon or drone. This thing had no visible strings or propellers, adding an extra layer of mystery to the situation. As they zoomed in for a closer look, it got even weirder. This object appeared humanoid with discernible features like a head, arms, and legs. The group couldn't shake off the eerie feeling that this thing had been there all day. Was it a flying human, an extraterrestrial visitor, or something else entirely? Intrigued, they returned the next day, cameras in hand, hoping against hope that it had all been a bizarre illusion. But no, the floating enigma was still there, defying the laws of gravity. Now we're left with more questions than answers. What on earth, or perhaps beyond it, could this be? If you live in the area, maybe you can help shed some light on this puzzling sight. Let us know if the mysterious presence in the Swiss mountains still lingers. Imagine being in the comfort of your own home when something inexplicable occurs. That's precisely what happened to the individual who captured this bizarre incident on camera. In the footage, we see a peculiar orb, a mysterious glowing sphere floating around. It seems to move with a sense of purpose, almost as if it's dancing, all while an oblivious cat strolls by. But this isn't an isolated event. Similar orbs have been spotted in various locations worldwide. The big question is, what are these orbs? What could their presence signify? My money is on demonic or spiritual activity. But what's yours? Trailcams indeed captures some strange and unexpected moments in the woods, and this image sent in by another subscriber is no exception. In this intriguing trailcam shot, we find ourselves amid a dark and mysterious woodland scene. Three deer, seemingly going about their business, are accompanied by a figure that defies easy explanation. It's neither fully human nor entirely deer. This enigmatic being has the form of a person, but its head is a deer skeleton glowing eerily, just like its deer companions. The rest of its body is shrouded in darkness, and when we gaze down towards its feet, they seem to vanish into thin air. So, what in the world is happening here? Is this some sort of deer-human hybrid, a guardian spirit, or something else entirely? We can't say. The subscriber is, however, asking if we should leave the camera there and revisit it later. What do you guys suggest? How can we make sure he gets the best footage from the location without putting himself in danger? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. We'll be reading. If you also have footage and clips you'd want to show us on this channel, don't hesitate to send them in. If you're unsure of what you've captured, don't worry, I'm sure the thousands of subscribers who watch the videos could help you make sense of it. Send it to classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. Moving on. Imagine you're going on a midnight hunt, thinking that you've caught a good game, but once you arrive where the kill is, you're not met with the expected prey. Instead, you're faced with a bewildering and monstrous creature. In this photograph, we see a man proudly displaying the result of his hunt, and it's unlike anything you'd expect to find in the wild. This creature looks like a bizarre hybrid of a hyena and a wolf, two formidable and dangerous animals in their own right. The man wears a satisfied grin as he poses with his catch, but the sheer existence of this creature should raise more questions than the satisfaction he seems to have attained. Take a moment to appreciate the sheer size and peculiarity of this beast, but after taking it all in, there are questions we have to find answers to. What is that creature? Where did it come from? Is it a sick version of an already existing creature we know? Or is this an entirely new creature? Well, we don't have the answers, only questions. Do you? This video was captured in the dead of night, and as the recorder ventured deeper into the woods, feeling he was being followed or watched, he decided to say hello.
Hello?
Can you see it?
His voice echoes a friendly hello into the darkness, and in response, an eerie sound emanates from somewhere ahead. Through the camera lens, we catch a glimpse of a peculiar white figure. It doesn't appear to have typical physical features. Instead, it seems to be clad entirely in white clothing with holes strategically cut around the eyes for visibility. Suddenly, this enigmatic creature has its attention on the explorer. In an unexpected twist, it seems to dive, reminiscent of a large fish descending back into the sea. It appears as though the creature is attempting to approach the recorder. This sudden movement prompts an immediate reaction from the explorer. He hastily turns the camera away from the creature and, quite understandably, decides to make a run for it. The identity of this mysterious creature remains a puzzle, and the nature of its response to the explorer's greeting adds an element of intrigue to the encounter. What could this creature be, and why did it react the way it did? These questions linger even among members of the paranormal with no certain answers. What do you think? Here's another intriguing piece of footage that joins the ranks of potential Bigfoot encounters in the wild. In this instance, a hiker exploring the woods stumbled upon a captivating sight. As the hiker ventured through the forest, their attention was drawn to a mysterious figure in the distance. Nestled among the dense foliage, the figure appears to be enveloped in darkness, obscuring its precise features. With a sense of curiosity, the hiker decided to zoom in on the enigmatic presence. Upon closer examination, it became evident that this entity possessed dark fur and a substantial size. Initial thoughts of it being a bear or perhaps a gorilla crossed the hiker's mind. However, the remarkable height of this creature raised intriguing questions. Could it be, as some speculate, a potential sighting of the legendary Bigfoot? Like many such encounters, this footage fuels the ongoing debate about the existence of cryptids like Bigfoot. What are your thoughts on this compelling footage? In the world of the unexplained and eerie, there are moments frozen in time that give us pause for thought. This peculiar image is one of them, a snapshot captured during the depths of the night. In this enigmatic scene, a figure emerges from the darkness surrounding by an aura that defies earthly explanation. The most striking feature, or perhaps the lack thereof, is the absence of a head. It walks forward, defying the laws of living, leaving us to question its nature and origin. This spectral form appears almost ethereal, its limbs outstretched in an unsettling pose. It blurs the line between what's real and what's not, leaving us with a sense of ambiguity. What could this headless figure be? Can you tell? We'd really love to know. What could this be? If I didn't know any better, I'd even suspect it to be the sting of some giant scorpion or the curled-up tail of a very large animal. There's no other way to come up with a perfect description if we can't see the full thing. After watching the initial seconds, we began to speculate about the creature we were about to encounter. Our speculation, however, is short-lived as we're soon introduced to the creature in all its glory. There are many interpretations we could give to this, but the YouTuber responsible for the footage, who is from the channel Unknowns, believes this is footage of something unique, wild, and previously undiscovered, and he just so happens to conveniently capture this while on a solo camping trip in the mountains. As much as we'd love to take his word for it, there are a couple of possibilities here. It could be a person in a costume, perhaps staged for attention and views. Alternatively, someone with more sinister intentions could be stalking the camper and waiting for the right moment to unsettle him. We see no paranormal being here, but we still believe someone dangerous could potentially be stalking him. What do you think? Does it look more like some sort of a hoax or prank meant to throw us off, or do you believe the young man really encountered something dangerous and scary? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd really love to hear them. In the heart of a lush and tranquil forest, an intrepid explorer embarks on a journey to document the wonders of nature. As they delve deeper into the woods, their camera captures the beauty of sun-dappled foliage and the symphony of birdsong that fills the air. Unbeknownst to the explorer, an extraordinary encounter awaits them on this ordinary day. They approach a towering tree, its gnarled roots seemingly rooted in centuries of secrets. As the camera pans towards it, a sudden rustle of leaves and twigs draws their attention to the tree's shadowy side. From behind the ancient tree emerges an enigmatic figure bathed in the muted hues of the forest. Standing at approximately 7 feet in height, the creature's form possesses an eerie skeletal quality reminiscent of a macabre marionette. Its face, more simian than human, lacks the softness of flesh, appearing as if it was stripped down to its skeletal foundation. The figure extends a bony, elongated arm toward the camera, its fingers reaching out tentatively as if guided by a distant memory. The gesture hints at past encounters with other explorers, leaving an unspoken question in the air. What creature is this? What secrets lie hidden within these woods? Why is it trying to stop the filming? Why isn't it trying to hurt them? So many questions. I don't want to believe this is a hoax. I want to believe there's a cool cryptid out there who isn't interested in hurting or running from us. Is that too much to ask? Either way, that concludes today's episode of Classified Captures. This footage was captured near Nevada's Nellis Air Force Base in the morning sky when the recorder spotted a white flying object. Upon closer examination, it's clear that this isn't an airplane. It lacks typical aircraft features and has a distinct tic-tac or pill-like shape. It's gliding through the atmosphere at an incredibly fast pace, dominating the daytime sky. This can only be one thing, another UFO sighting. Experts were consulted, and they unanimously concluded that it was not an airplane. They described it as chunky, ruling out any conventional aircraft. When comparing this footage to the recorder's other airplane videos, the distinct shape of this object, along with the absence of typical aircraft features, highlights the stark difference. Is this a UFO? Tell us what you think. Next, we have footage from a daring group of YouTubers from the Sharby channel who embarked on an adventure that led them deep into a remote graveyard within a dense forest. Little did they know that they were about to encounter more than they had bargained for.
Okay, yo, let's get the out of here, man. No, okay, that's it.
Their eerie journey commenced with the discovery of an old crowbar lying ominously on the ground. The very sight of this rusty piece of metal seemed to bother them, but they forged ahead regardless. They then discarded the crowbar and dismissed their unease in their bid to enjoy their adventure. As they delved further into the graveyard, their uneasiness only intensified, especially when they stumbled upon an ancient grave dating back to the 1800s. To their bewilderment, the weather took a bizarre turn and it began to snow. In October, a truly inexplicable phenomenon. The most unsettling discovery was, however, yet to come. A peculiar doll was found leaning against a tombstone. Anyone remotely interested in the paranormal or someone who has at least seen horror movies know dolls in eerie places are to be avoided, and our explorers understood that. At that moment, the adventurers could no longer ignore the eerie aura that surrounded them. With a quick and unanimous decision, they made a hasty exit from the unsettling graveyard, leaving behind an enigma that still lingers in their memories. What do you think about the whole thing? This footage indeed captures a remarkable and rare sight in the world of wildlife, an albino deer. Albino deer are a unique and captivating natural phenomenon characterized by their complete lack of pigmentation. These striking creatures possess a pristine white coat, pink eyes, nose, and hooves, setting them apart from their commonly colored counterparts. Albinism in deer is an exceptionally rare occurrence, with only a small fraction of deer exhibiting this genetic trait. Studies suggest that albino deer may appear at a rate of approximately 1 in every 30,000 deer, making them an extraordinary find for nature enthusiasts and wildlife observers. Encountering an albino deer in the wild is a breathtaking experience, offering a glimpse into the intricate and diverse world of nature. These unique creatures serve as a reminder of the incredible diversity that can be found within our planet's ecosystems, showcasing the beauty of the natural world. Have you ever seen one? Tell us about your experience in the comments section. In a world filled with inexplicable mysteries, this image stands out as one of the most perplexing. Captured in a park, it presents a grotesque sight that defies easy categorization. One might be tempted to liken it to a mummified human head, but the presence of hair covering its entire body suggests otherwise. It's hard to say. When I saw the footage, I initially thought it might be a woman with burn marks sitting on a tree, screaming in pain. I mean, it would be strange to capture something like this in the woods, but trail cams capture weird things all the time. I was about to dismiss this whole thing when I saw that it had talons for feet. Can you see it too? All of a sudden, it becomes apparent that the image is not so ordinary. There's some supernatural element to it. Could we be dealing with a witch? Was she injured in transit? Or is the whole thing simply a well-curated hoax? Share your thoughts with us. Now let's unravel a peculiar sighting that occurred in the vast Canadian mountains. Picture this. A lone hiker surrounded by the breathtaking wilderness stumbles upon an inexplicable scenario. As the hiker's gaze goes down the mountain, a peculiar sight unfolds before them. It's a creature, or at least something that appears to be one. What makes this sighting truly baffling is how it moves. The rock seems to be lifted from beneath as though some unseen force resides beneath the surface. What could be causing this eerie phenomenon? But hold on. The strangeness doesn't stop there. As this mysterious movement inches closer to a backpack resting on the ground, our expectations are defied. Instead of the backpack itself shifting, a sudden gust of wind whips through, making the backpack straps flutter through the air. The movement then passes by the backpack and moves out of sight. What could this be? Some kind of new natural phenomenon or something else we should be concerned about? Have you experienced something like this? Please tell us in the comment section. The recent surge in cryptid sightings has certainly left us questioning the ordinary in many Trailcam captures. In this particular image, the setting is a woodland area and our attention is drawn to a peculiar creature perched by a fallen tree, partially concealed by another standing tree. Upon closer inspection, it becomes evident that this creature exhibits primate-like features. Given its size, it's unlikely to be a gorilla, leaving us to consider it might be a chimp or a monkey. As much as we'd want to end things there, it appears to be moving on 2 feet and not 4. Whilst we debated this observation, we saw from the comments under the original post that there are no apes or chimps in the area. That left us with one guess. It has to be a juvenile Bigfoot. It's too small to be a Bigfoot, even though everything points to it being a Bigfoot. Being a juvenile Bigfoot is the only thing that makes sense in this scenario. Or what do you think? Do you believe in zombies? If you answered no to this question, it won't be a surprise. But what if I told you the US government has a foolproof plan to handle a zombie apocalypse it teaches to its new army recruits? Not so weird now, is it? In this footage posted by YouTuber Mr. Elusive, we see what appears to be a strange person walking in the woods, notably without a head and carrying a sickle-like instrument. While seeing someone carrying a sickle in the woods might be odd and weird, depending on the woodland area where the person is seen, there's literally no explanation for a headless man moving through the woods. Could this be the proof we have been waiting for concerning the existence of zombies? Many paranormal enthusiasts who saw the footage believe it to be so. There are some who approved it with skepticism, though believing it could be a cleverly orchestrated hoax. Some even pointed out the fact that it looks like a man with his jacket over his head. But the rest of the paranormal community punched holes in this theory, stating that it was indeed a headless man. The good thing about this footage is it's of great quality and we can all see what's happening within it. Instead of telling you what my personal opinion is, I thought I'd ask you instead. What do you think we are dealing with here? Tell us in the comments section. We'd really love to hear it. Still on all things juvenile yet mysterious, this next Trailcam photo was sent in by a subscriber who was confused and perplexed by what he'd captured. Here we have a furry creature in the distance standing in a weird position. The picture is very blurry, so it's hard to tell what this could be. I don't know if the creature has its arm up or tail up. If it's the latter, then this could be a fisher, a creature from the weasel family. But if not, then this could likely be some other type of cryptid. We can't seem to be able to say with certainty that it's any creature. Can you? Have you ever caught an uninvited guest trying to break into your home using the door camera? If you answered yes, did they look like this? Definitely not. The figure in question appears to possess human-like shoulders and arms, which are initially unremarkable. However, a closer examination reveals a striking peculiarity. Its hand, unlike a typical human hand, appears to be twisted and deformed, almost resembling the appendage of a person with a disability. As this mysterious entity continues to navigate through a doorway, its actions become even more confounding. Although the head remains concealed from view for the most part, as it gradually comes into frame, something truly extraordinary emerges. This figure seems to sport a long, elongated snout reminiscent of that of a horse or a dog. The sight is undeniably bizarre and leaves us grappling with a host of questions. What could this entity be? And how can we make sense of its curious combination of human and animal-like features? Is this a mere trick of the camera or something more inexplicable? That we may never find out, but what do you think? And for our final video, we sign off with something rather peculiar and fascinating, a creature that appears to be a fusion of a fox and a bat. Its body exhibits both bat-like wings and fox-like features with distinctive and prominent orange hair on its back. But for its ability to fly, it could have been mistaken for a fox with mange. I know that's a bit of a stretch and an exaggeration, but look at that. Has any of you ever had an encounter with this creature? Please do share in the comments section below. And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for watching to the very end. If you have any Trailcam footage you'd like the rest of the world to see, please send it over to us at classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. Don't be shy and don't think it's crazy. We'll help you make sense of even the most bizarre of captures. What's more, we'll give you the credit unless you want to remain anonymous. What are you waiting for? Send it in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as it helps us out a ton. See you in the next one.